Time, but now full commentary from Villa Park. Aston Villa against Arsenal with Michael Brown and our correspondent John Murray.
Yes, thank you, Mark. Welcome everyone inside Villa Park. Here we go again as Arsenal kick off 3 days after Manchester City came here and were beaten by Aston Villa. So this ground, this team has to go again, and Villa Park again in great voice, but Arsenal already on the attack with Martinelli into the penalty area now, up against Konsa, pulls the ball across, half cleared by Carlos, Havertz with a shot, that was blocked by Camara, and Aston Villa are able to survive the first challenge that they've faced this afternoon from Arsenal, who were top of the Premier League this morning, but have now been replaced by Liverpool. So Aston Villa against Arsenal, and Villa on the break now over the halfway line. Douglas Luiz through to Watkins, back to Douglas Luiz, little pass to Tielemans, now he has Bailey on the right hand side, one of the big new favourites. Bailey into the penalty area, he's got two Arsenal men with him, weaving one way and the other. Zinchenko dived in and the ball bounces behind, and it's given us a corner to Aston Villa, which Zinchenko protests about, but it is a corner to Villa. Michael Brown, Premier League midfielder, is sitting next to me for this commentary, and it's already got a big time feel, Michael.
Yeah, huge feel to the game. Arsenal started going direct, they had half a chance, but great counter-attack from Aston Villa, putting the pressure on so early in the game.
So it is a corner to Aston Villa and a packed, absolutely packed 6-yard box, and Villa have got players in claret and blue all around David Raya, and referee Jared Gillett has actually blown his whistle and he said, no, hang on, we're not going to take this yet. And he's walked in among, I mean, how many players are in there? 1, 2, 3,
everyone. It's because of last week, John,
yep.
The last game, they know what they're doing.
Exactly so. So Arsenal have got all of their defenders back in there, but it is an absolutely crowded, almost goal line. Let's see what happens. Here's the corner from Bailey, and it's headed away by Gabriel Jesus at the near post. Much ado about nothing.
Yeah, but psychologically you can see they just want to put the pressure on the goalkeeper. The delivery wasn't good enough because the goals he conceded against Luton, it's been asked all week, and it's a little bit naughty, but you can understand why they've done it. But he has to be able to deal with every scenario, but just listen to the atmosphere.
Totally understand why they did that. That's exactly what they should be doing, and that is actually an example of the attention to detail that Unai Emery and his team and of coaches and staff are becoming famous for. One of the big reasons behind why they are where they are, as Villa send a long ball towards the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. McGinn on the chase, only half cleared away. It's Digne on the left hand side. Arsenal are unchanged, if you didn't hear that earlier. Aston Villa are unchanged. If you missed the team news, unsurprisingly, same team that started and won and played so well against Manchester City on Wednesday. Long one from halfway. Raya comes a long way above Watkins and also above Saliba, and is able to punch it away out of play for a throw into Villa on the left hand side. So yeah, Villa unchanged. Arsenal make just the one change, and that is Zinchenko coming in for Kivior at left back. Michael Brown.
Do you know, an interesting start. Do you know, when I've just watched the replay, because it was such a way away, he didn't go to punch, he tries to catch it and actually drops it under pressure from Saliba, don't get me wrong. But it's interesting that the target is in behind, wherever, putting crosses in.
Here now is Konsa on the right hand side with his right wrist and hand bandaged. Ezri Konsa. Back it goes to Diego Carlos, the number 3. Big part of what's been happening here, such an imposing presence, the central defender. Now Camara here is off on a run towards the edge of the penalty area, challenged by Havertz, went down. Referee Gillett says he took the ball, even though Camara went flying. Arsenal broke away, but Villa have got it back. Luiz with the ball, that's only half headed away, and it comes back and is cleared away. Odegaard is there. Arsenal in these luminous shirts again, as they wore at Luton the other night, but they're on the back foot again. Now it's Watkins on the left hand side. First 10 minutes is like the last 10 minutes. Watkins, his ball across the penalty area, that's blocked, comes back to the Villa top scorer again, the number 11. Watkins going one way and the other against White, left-footed cross, that's headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box, and then Odegaard is able to get it further away. What a start!
A great start, putting the pressure on. The wind is swirling around, it's making it difficult, but Villa, a couple of passes, then go to make the diagonal one, want to turn Arsenal around, they've got to deal with it. understand it's going to be a slightly different game, and what surprised me that they haven't got the ball down. Arsenal tried to keep possession, but have a chance now, but straight away it's a little bit loose, and Saka finally gets it.
That's Michael Brown, former Manchester City midfielder, Premier League midfielder, over 600 professional matches, and we're watching Arsenal coming forward. Martinelli, right-footed ball, chance at the back post, but Saka scuffs it wide, stretching, arriving, but shooting well wide.
I think he's got to do better. You watch it go over, we've got a great view of it. Martinelli just swings it in, right foot on that back post though. I think if Saka's going on that left foot, I fancy him. Could he take a touch? He goes to play it early, times his run, and he just gets it all wrong. It's so comfortable if he just takes it down, but big chance for Arsenal. 5 Live. This is the Premier League, our second commentary of the day. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. In terms of the form of the two teams involved here today, well, it's certainly the match of the weekend in the Premier League, and I would say one of the matches of the season so far. The teams coming into this round of matches with the best home record in the Premier League this season against the team with the best away record in the Premier League this season. Here's Camara, middle of his own half, under pressure from Jesus, turns it back to the figure of Diego Carlos with his chest puffed out, and now for to Tielemans. Nice exchange, gives it back to Bailey. Bailey into the area on the right hand side, cuts it right across. McGinn turns and scores. Brilliant from Villa. They're at it again, just days after beating Manchester City. Now they're 1-0 up against Arsenal, and that was superbly worked. 7th minute, Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0, and it's the captain, John McGinn. It's an incredible goal. They were slick, they were quick, little passes into midfield, coming off the line. Bailey gets it, and then when he's in an advanced area, he plays, he turns, and he manages to get the ball across. Arsenal thought they got the cover on. John McGinn just pivots on the edge of the 6-yard area. You know he's got a good left foot, turns, dispatches it into the back of the goal, and it's a wonderful start in this game for Aston Villa.
Maybe 8 yards out, maybe 9 yards out, but what a move it was. Tielemans' pass so important. Bailey again, I say such a favourite now, obviously scored the deflected winning goal on Wednesday night, but running at Gabriel into the penalty area, and then a little cut back, and John McGinn, look, just where he wants it, able to turn in the box like that, score left-footed.
Camara and obviously Tielemans in good positions, want to play forward, taking the passes in the build-up, then they set Bailey off, and it was his little touch. It looked like it was going to come, John, onto that left foot. He doesn't, he brings it to the right, it almost closes the angle, but very cute sort of reverse pass, and there it was, McGinn, great turn, and just a super start. They've wanted to dictate it, they've wanted to be quick, and how do Arsenal react?
Well, if you've been at a match today, I hope you've managed to get back into your car or wherever you're listening in time for the start of this one, because what a start we've had. 8 minutes on the clock. Unai Emery down there looking very perky against his former club, and the man who eventually replaced him, Mikel Arteta, is up in the stands. Actually, he's behind us. He's right up on the back of this middle tier. That's where the hospitality boxes are, and just before the start of the game, with his one match touchline ban, he was ushered out into a seat up there. So he's up in the stands. His team are 1-0 down, but Arsenal attacking with Odegaard. Carlos only half cleared, and then Douglas Luiz has to hook it away, still inside the box on the left hand side. Martinelli being put under pressure. Carlos has come right out here with him, and between Carlos and Bailey, they've dispossessed Martinelli, and now it's back with Martinez inside his 6-yard box. I know I've not had a chance to run through the teams in full yet. Barely had a chance to do anything, such has been the pace of the action. And indeed, here come Arsenal with Saka on the right hand side. Saka could easily have scored the opening goal before John McGinn did at the other end, but Pau Torres got there first and launches the ball into the lower tier of the Doug Ellis stand on the far side, in amongst all of the Arsenal supporters who've seen their team lose just once in the Premier League this season. That was a 5:30 kick-off as well, the controversial defeat at St James's Park against Newcastle. But since then, Arsenal have won 6 out of 6 at home and away in all competitions. But here, already, they're up against it. And the one thing we know about Villa that so far this season, in every match they've been ahead, Michael, in the Premier League, they've gone on to win it. And already today, Aston Villa are ahead.
Martinelli, brilliant here. Unlucky if he goes out, it's very tight.
It did.
What great feet. He's had a couple of opportunities, hasn't he? We've seen that wonderful ball to the back post from Saka. And he's up against Carlos, who's come across on the last one. Great little feet, but he's wanting to be positive. He's wanting to push it into good areas. But just going back to Villa, you can't dream of a better start. Someone just pulled me before and said, what do you think tonight? Can we do it again? And we were wondering, are they getting carried away? But, well, doesn't look like it at the moment.
I mean, it is such a test, this, of their credentials, really, to go on and win the league this season. There's been a lot of talk in the Midlands, I know, which is translated around the country, about how coming into this match they played 15 league games, 32 points, and that's exactly what Leicester City had back in 2015-2016 after 15 matches. But if they are able to beat Manchester City on the Wednesday and Arsenal on the Saturday, well, I think you'll have to include them as potential winners of the Premier League. Heck of a long way to go, but they are looking very, very good. And here's Carlos just stroking the ball back into the feet of his goalkeeper Martinez, and now Carlos, long right-footed ball looking for Watkins in the centre circle, but that's cleared away by Saliba. Now Saka stretching for it. Saka does well, turns Digne, might have been tugged back. That's what the Arsenal supporters over on the far side were saying, but Arsenal are still in possession, and back in the centre circle again it is with Saliba. We'll have more reaction, more interviews to the afternoon's football at half-time, but Zinchenko for Arsenal, moving from left to right.
Yeah, they're finally just getting a couple of passes. Zinchenko's just been allowed a little bit of time now to go inside, be the extra player from that left-back position, try to dictate it there, a poor pass in behind. Martinelli furious with him that he doesn't do it, but I mean, we're not expecting Arsenal to get passes straight away wherever they go. That's Mikel Arteta's obviously what he expects, how he sets up, but Villa have stopped it.
So Aston Villa with Martinez, he's got the ball at the moment. Martinez in goal, Konsa, Carlos, Pau Torres and Digne launch one downfield, Martinez, and it's all the way through to Raya at the other end. Then this midfield, Douglas Luiz and Camara very comfortable together. Bailey on the right, McGinn on the left, but moving in field. Tielemans in the advanced position, sort of number 10 position much of the time, and then Ollie Watkins, 13-goal Ollie Watkins up front. And Arsenal, David Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko, the back four, Odegaard, Rice and Havertz, and then Saka, Jesus and Martinelli, as Odegaard overhits a pass, although Saka hasn't given up on it yet, but eventually it does roll over the dead ball line, and it is behind for a goal kick. And if you weren't listening earlier, another part of it today is that Villa are going for a club record today. It would be, with this scoreline, it would be a 15th consecutive home league win, which would break the club record, which has lasted, well, it was set twice, 14 home league wins in a row, back in 1903 and then in 1930-31. Villa passing the ball out from the back. Here is Konsa, but Martinelli gets a touch on that. Forward from Tielemans, but Arsenal have got it again. And Odegaard back to Saliba, who had to be quick, put under real pressure by Watkins. Gives it to Martinelli, though, does well under pressure there on the halfway line. Saliba, now Gabriel Jesus in a more deep-lying position. He turns it back to Zinchenko. Arsenal suddenly here are back in their groove, and Jesus receives it from Rice, and Jesus is drifting in from the left-hand side, clips a ball right in between White and Saka, and the home cheers will tell you that he managed to bisect them perfectly and pass the ball straight out of play for a throw into the home side.
It was anywhere else, wasn't it? You know, they looked like they had good possession. First time we've seen Declan Rice get on the ball in that base of that midfield sort of three, trying to get moving it around, and as soon as it goes into Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli empties it, but then, as I say, in between White, Bukayo Saka's got to be much better, and you know, Villa just finally now just trying to get back into Arsenal's half after a great start, but Arsenal starting to control it.
Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0. Now, been keeping across the Champions Cup matches in the Rugby Union, where it is in the 5:30 kickoffs. Bulls 10, Saracens 3, and Munster 7, Bayonne 3. latest scores. There'll be commentary on Sports Extra later on the Bristol-Lyon match, which starts at 8 o'clock on BBC Sounds and your digital radio. But Aston Villa 1-0 up, but Arsenal have just recovered their composure, and Jesus has had a pass intercepted by Watkins. But then in steps Rice, but concedes a throw-in on the halfway line that Dino wanted to take quickly. Again, Villa Park absolutely packed for this match. Of course it is. Looking to my right, the Holt End, those two tiers, all of the banners there, all of the people looking down on this dry, milder afternoon than it was on Wednesday, as Havertz wins the ball back in the centre circle from Camara, gives it to his right to Saka in the box, left foot shot, that's blocked by Pau Torres. Camara's still down in the centre circle. Rice now, beautiful, lovely change of feet from Rice, and then the ball is lifted in harmlessly from Ben White, and it lands on the roof of the net, and the Villa players are saying, they're suggesting that was a foul on Camara in the centre circle. Referee Gillett didn't see it that way.
No, he wasn't sure at all, but we get another look at it. But then they went on to a real promising attack. They played a little bit too short. I think Havertz just went in, won the ball, referee right on top of it. But as it went to Saka, I think if the ball was slightly behind him, he could have circulated edge of the area. He had some people on, but didn't make the right decisions. But Villa have just got to be sure when they're playing out that the pass has got to be a little bit better. This is uncertain. Gabriel Jesus trying to get on top of Martinez every time they try to have build-up. Two centre-backs splitting, one to go short, but he's ready to press.
You can feel as well that wind whistling around Villa Park. And Martinez goes long, actually, from the goal kick up towards Watkins, as White just knocks the ball back down into his right back area. Saliba, Watkins, though, bear in mind the effort that Aston Villa put in on Wednesday night. You wouldn't know it watching the way that they've been. They look thoroughly energised, and why wouldn't they for a match like this? What an opportunity it's given them, and they're already 1-0 up. But here's Zinchenko playing the ball in towards Martinelli. Little touch though from Camara, and Carlos is able to lift the ball up into the air, and actually Villa have got it back. But now it is Villa being put under pressure. Camara, Jesus has got a little foot in on that, and Arsenal have got the ball back as they attack towards the north stand, but it all comes to nothing, and the ball just runs through a defective pass from Jesus, and Martinez has got it again. The other thing we should say is that Arsenal have turned Villa around, so in the first half they're attacking Villa towards the Holt End. They'd rather do it in the second half, so there were boos just before kick-off when the players had to change around for the start of the match. And here is Tielemans, who was involved in the build-up to the opening goal. I thought he was a little fortunate to get an official assist for Bailey's goal on Wednesday night. A Tielemans assist when Bailey ran about 30 yards and then was deflected into the net, but Tielemans gets an assist for that, apparently.
I don't think he'd be too fussed, will he, if he gets an assist, so, or whether he does it with that sort of result. But Arsenal just again now trying to find a way. Villa in no rush, will just sit quite a high line. Just got to be careful that there's no space.
Here's Zinchenko centrally passing the ball through. Konza stands up well against Havertz, was looking for the foul and eventually got it, and he did well. He shielded the ball, didn't he, from Havertz, and that meant that Havertz was sort of physical all over the back of him.
Yeah, did really well. It was just like a slide tackle, then he's looking up at the referee. It took a long time. He's thinking, surely I can't do anything in this position. I'm now stuck on the floor. Jared Gillett took a bit of time, but Villa under this pressure, they just don't look as comfortable. When they start to try and play out, find a way, and the short passes just inviting it, and then straight away they try and clip over it.
Pau Torres carrying the ball out from the back, and Saka has slid in and won the ball back from him, and now it's played across the penalty area to Martinelli. Martinelli against Konza, gets his knees together, ball played back towards the edge of the penalty area. Konza was conscious that Martinelli might have tried to slip the ball between his legs, so he was able to block it. Martinelli, then in comes McGinn and rattles the ball out of play into the advertising hoardings just down in front of us. Our commentary position here, a great position. We're very much left of the halfway line as we look, but we're only about 15 yards away from Zinchenko as he takes the throw, and the ball's back into the centre circle. These luminous green yellow shirts with the black wobbly lines on them for Arsenal, black shorts, green and black socks. Here's Martinelli, gets the ball down from Rice, curls it in right-footed, but Martinez comes, catches that easily enough, although has a glare at Jesus. Suggestion being that the Brazilian maybe has been a little naughty there on the Argentine.
Well, I think
maybe a little carryover from the Maracanã last
He's
month.
just going to try and put him off, that's all it was, I think.
There's one launched forwards, Watkins. And Watkins,
was his hand, wasn't it?
Yeah, free kick.
The trying on direct. Arsenal said, OK, we'll go 2 for 2. Great tackle in the middle there. But at that point, Arsenal very brave on the press. That's why Villa are struggling. Sooner to try and play short. Arsenal said, OK, we're going to come right on top of you. But if they can get that ball better into Watkins, a bit flatter, it gives him a better chance.
So Aston Villa winning 1-0, on course for 8 home wins out of 8 in the Premier League this season. Martinez passing it out to Camara under pressure, plays the ball towards the right hand side. Now Konza just slips it forward towards Camara, infield from him. Tielemans is there, Tielemans turns, has a look over his shoulder, has a look again, and then Tielemans finds the goal scorer. McGinn just forward of the centre circle, McGinn back to Tielemans approaching the penalty area, and he has Havertz leaning into him. Down he goes, Tielemans. Free kick goes Villa's way.
It was brilliant from Tielemans. I'm not sure if there was a bit of a shirt pull or... Yeah, there was. What's the referee thinking? He stood right on top of it. He's literally took the number right off the back of his shirt, and in an advanced situation, Tielemans so comfortable in those positions, just taking it under pressure. Good first touch, going forward into the space. It's a big moment now, good opportunity. It's still a little bit far out, isn't it, to the right of the goal, but all the Villa players looking, but I'm surprised he didn't issue a yellow card.
Yeah. However, it's a free kick in a very good position. You can see how strong the wind is over there in front of the Holt End. It must be whistling between the stands. You can see the shirts of the players rippling. Even with the body-hugging shirts of 2023, the shirts are rippling on their torsos. Free kick, right of centre. There's, the way they work on their set pieces, Aston Villa. There is a real discussion going on about this. Tielemans standing in front of the ball. We've got 3 men to the left of the Arsenal wall, 4 men in fact. Watkins is there as well. Digne looks a good bet, perhaps to take this left-footed. Tielemans moves away. Luiz is over the ball. He looks as though he might just tap it.
It could bend in that way, or whether they're going to move it. But you'd imagine with the wind that Luiz would get right round that wall. But look at Digne, looks like he wants it, doesn't he? Over that wall into the goalkeeper's left-hand corner.
I think the wind will help, won't it? The wind's blowing from left to right across the pitch, but Douglas Luiz backs away. Might be him with the right foot. Oh, it is Digne into the top of the wall, and after all that he hits the wall. And then the follow-up from Douglas Luiz, closed down by Saka, and actually Konza will have to go all the way back to Martinez. And now Martinez, right for the ball. Pau Torres does well, gets up, heads that infield. Early ball across from Bailey. Oh, clearance at the back post. That was crucial. And now Arsenal actually are off on the counter-attack. Douglas Luiz does very well centrally. Odegaard in with a challenge, and the ball's out of play. Down here on the halfway line, Saka has stayed down, and the referee says, hang on. We're just going to see how Saka is first of all.
Yeah, it should be okay. I think he was winded into the side of him, but just going back to that free kick, you expected a little bit better with the quality, the setup. They had a lot of time just to look at it, and you've got to get it over the wall. I'm not sure it would have been a little bit better if they'd have gone with the right footer.
Might have been a foul, that, from Douglas Luiz on Saka, but it's not given by the referee. Throw in to Villa, but Arsenal are able to give it back to David Raya, and the goalkeeper chips it out, and Ben White to the halfway line. But McGinn gets a huge roll, but Arsenal have picked it up again. Odegaard now through to Jesus, right side of the penalty area. Jesus carries it out into the full-back position. Odegaard is there on the edge of the box. Odegaard back to Jesus. The ball at his feet. Those orange boots that are like 2 little marker pens. And he plays that through to Saka inside the penalty area. Martinez goes down, it was cut back. Goalkeeper got a touch, it's deflected back out into the Villa left back area to White. Now back to Rice. Low ball from Rice, doesn't find Odegaard, and Aston Villa can break away. And that looked like a foul on Douglas Luiz, as he did bring the ball away. And Havertz was involved in that as well. I think Havertz on one side, Odegaard on the other.
Declan Rice got in
Declan
there.
Rice.
Yeah, Declan Rice, he gave the ball away. It was a great reaction. Do you know, as a midfield player in the middle, that's what you want. The reaction, he played a poor pass straight away. He was on top of it, trying to get it back, just a little bit too late. And it was a foul, but you know, that's an example. That's what you want to do. Do you know, whenever you give it away, first to get near it. Douglas Luiz said, no problem. Kills the game a little bit longer.
BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0. John McGinn scoring the very well-worked goal. And here he is now in possession, 10 yards inside the Arsenal half. Left foot ball to the edge of the area. That's chested down by Saliba and eventually cleared on the edge of the box by Declan Rice. Saka, boos for Saka. Suggestion being that he made too much of that challenge a little earlier, and then Saka passes it out of play beyond Jesus. So that's gone down well with the whole end, and indeed all the home areas of Villa Park, throwing near the halfway line. So John McGinn, that's his 6th goal of the season, has appeared in all 24 matches this season, the captain. But he was another who had an excellent night against Manchester City. Liverpool currently top of the Premier League after their win earlier today, coming from a goal down at Crystal Palace. So Liverpool with 37 points, Arsenal with 36 and Villa with 32. Manchester City with 30. They're at Luton tomorrow. That's one of our commentary matches tomorrow afternoon, when we will bring you commentary on all 4 Premier League matches that are being played tomorrow, either on 5 Live, Sports Extra or online. And a foul on Digne on the halfway line, but the referee says play on. Villa in possession. So here is Bailey. He will rightly get an assist for the goal that was scored by Villa today. Bailey back to Pau Torres, and now Carlos again just touches the ball with his left foot to Konza, and now Tielemans, who's drifted out towards the right hand side. Took him a little while, didn't it, Tielemans, to find his feet and get his place in the starting lineup, as Martinez took his eye off the ball and it ran through his legs, but he's able to turn and trot towards the ball and then clear it away, but only to Zinchenko in that central position, the left back. And then Rice all the way back to goalkeeper Raya, who will pass it out quickly to Gabriel. Gabriel now up the left-hand side for Arsenal to Martinelli, and back it goes towards the edge of the penalty area. Yeah, so Liverpool top of the table. We'll have more on that at half-time, and as well more on really the result of the day, one of the results of the season, certainly one of the results of Bournemouth's history. Manchester United 0, Bournemouth 3. I hope you listened to our commentary this afternoon with Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton at Old Trafford. Chris will be back on 6:06 with Robbie Savage later. Villa playing it out to Bailey on the right hand side. Pau Torres with the pass. Bailey then getting the ball under control, finding Camara. Douglas Luiz bounced off Camara, so he quickly had to play it back into his own half. Konza has a look over his shoulder just down in front of us here, but passes the ball past Martinelli back to the halfway line. Lovely turns from Tielemans, and a blatant pull of the shirt from Zinchenko. Tielemans was away from him, too clever. Another shirt pull on Tielemans. This time it is a yellow card.
I think he had no choice in that shirt pull, but what about the play from Tielemans? He's really in a tight situation. Zinchenko gets to the back of him and he just rolls out with ease. Really attractive to the eye, good footballer. At that point Zinchenko thought, that's a dangerous position, I can't let you go any further. But he's got to be careful now, hasn't he? I'm just saying, give Bailey the ball. Bailey just drifted in on the last one. Tielemans came out of the side. Good rotation from Villa, but you've got to get Bailey on the ball. Now he's an opportunity. Did they do it?
Here's Camara, centre circle, high ball over the top, but it bounces all the way through to Raya. He's looking for the run of Douglas Luiz. I mean, they look like a team absolutely brimful of confidence. Aston Villa, they're just like the weather, breezy and upbeat. Here's Rice to his left to Gabriel. Now Rice again, scorer of yet another late goal for Arsenal at Kenilworth Road on Tuesday night. Zinchenko gets his shirt pelted, just a little tug, so it's a free kick which they take quickly. Arsenal, Martinelli overran that. Konza steps in, wins the ball back. Here's Tielemans again, central area, drags his foot over the ball and then passes it back into central defence to Diego Carlos. It's got a lovely rhythm to it, this game, hasn't it, Michael? Konza going back to Martinez, controls it in his 6-yard box, passes it across to Pau Torres, who quickly passed it out to Digne, and Digne goes for a longer pass. Watkins will do well to get to that, but Saliba's able to come across, and Arsenal have got it inside their own half.
Yeah, there's good battles all over the pitch, isn't it? That's a good one in particular. Saliba, Ollie Watkins, as soon as it comes anywhere forward, he's on the back of his shoulder, putting that pressure on, and both teams trying to circulate wherever possible. Wind is so difficult, you've got to keep stating that. It's tough to go anywhere.
Yes, I hope the wind doesn't end up spoiling this game, but there's no sign of that at the moment, with Aston Villa leading by 1-0. Here's Saliba in the centre circle, finds Odegaard, the fair-haired Norwegian, then passes it to Saka on the right-hand side. White on the overlap, stabs it across, but the offside flag was already up. It must have been well offside, because the flag went straight up there from the assistant on the far side. No question, no doubt about that. So a free kick to
30 metres off, so he dared do it.
Yes.
He's in an advanced position as the overlap.
Hope he doesn't
I can do this one.
Yes, hope we didn't get kicked off for that.
We might.
So
we're only having a bit of fun, John, aren't we? We know it's a difficult one, but that was, this first time we've seen Ben White, isn't it, get into a great area.
Now, what's Jared Gillett doing here? Martinez has got the ball, and the referee is already on to Martinez, who, of course, has something of a reputation, and I think that's an early warning to Martinez about wasting time. Well, Roy Hodgson won't be very happy after the interview you might have heard earlier. McGinn's lost it on the edge of the penalty area, but Rice couldn't feed Saka, and Villa were able to clear. They were alert, but it bounces back from the half-line for Arsenal. Odegaard now to Saka, left foot shot. Martinez to his right is able to get down. He threatened to juggle it there, Martinez, but he just about held that slippery ball.
I was just about to say the same thing, almost spills it, but see my Emery just up, give him a clap, give him his approval, but just a little bit loose, and at that point Declan Rice, good position, and as it goes out to Saka, just tries to go left-footed.
Watkins against Saliba, goes for an early shot. That was optimistic from the angle, low and across the area, didn't catch it, and it just bounced across, and Raya went down to his right to save it.
Yeah, that's a player in confidence, isn't it? You know, just tries to hit it from anywhere possible, but I think he's trying to hit across it, so it goes right round the far reach of the goalkeeper, but I mean, don't catch it properly. It didn't look great, but
it is Watkins, who, having seen him this week and having seen him recently when he's had his chances for England, you know, it's that old story. Watkins looks really, really dangerous in a Villa shirt, and it's about translating that into an England shirt. But it's early days for him with England, but every time I see him for Villa, he looks so dangerous. Here's Odegaard in the centre circle. Odegaard looking at the various options, and actually goes back into central defence. And Saliba now, the ball comes to a stop at his feet.
Look, everybody stopped, just in sort of 20 yards right across the pitch.
Yeah.
High line.
Yeah, Villa, very, very high line. So eventually the ball is played to Saka in front of the Doug Ellis stand. Floodlight lamps all across the top of the roof of the stand, shining down. Saka returning the pass to White, and White catches up with it, stops it from going over the dead ball line, then gives it back to Saka. Left foot ball to the edge of the area to Odegaard, left foot shot low into the side netting, might even have clipped the outside of the foot of the post on its way wide, but Martinez was able to change direction, got down sharply, and I'm going to say that if it had been on target, he would have saved it.
It was really close, wasn't it? Just next to the post that you were talking about. Really good effort on the front foot, moving across, lets the ball just drift across onto that left foot. He hits it early, the goalkeeper scampering down, but it's a warning.
It is a warning. The ball is miscontrolled out of play on the far side, and it's a throw into Aston. In fact, it's a free kick challenge on Watkins on the far side, and it's a free kick on the halfway line to Villa. Odegaard, when you see him in that position, Martin Odegaard cutting in, edge of the area on his left foot, that spells danger.
Yeah, it does. And do you know what, he didn't catch it that clean, but you could see straight away he doesn't go for huge amounts of power. He goes for a little bit of control, and it's very, very close. Goalkeeper just getting across, but seeing a couple of fouls now. Referee, he's just played it right off of McGinn onto Declan Rice. He won't like that, Declan Rice, because he knows exactly he's trying to get him a yellow card. Referee said, I'm not going to buy it.
No, he's not. So free kick will be taken by Villa, and it is taken now. Back to Carlos, just behind the centre circle. You can hear the reaction of the Villa supporters trying to influence the official. Konza, right in front of Albert Stuyvenberg, who's taking charge on the edge of the coaching area with Mikel Arteta up in the stands, just in front of the hospitality boxes. Zinchenko gets the ball back from right. Zinchenko curls the pass out onto the left wing to Martinelli. Martinelli now against Konza does slip the ball to Tielemans on the edge of the area. Havertz back to Zinchenko, but Villa had enough claret and blue back in there. Konza was able to get a touch, and Carlos clears away to the halfway line. Then it's won by Saliba. They're suggesting now that the Villa fans that Bailey was blocked and Arsenal illegally kept possession, but referee says play on. Saka now on the right hand side. We've got 10 minutes to go at half time, just under that, plus added time of course at the end of the first half. Here is Declan Rice, still centre field, and then a ball is curled forward for Martinelli, who's onto this. Martinez comes out, Martinelli got a touch, bouncing goalwards, but cleared away by Diego Carlos, who got to it comfortably enough. It didn't have any pace. Oh, Jesus, excellent, on the edge of the area, beat one man and then a second, but then cut back, fell over, and Aston Villa were able to get it away. Tielemans on the stretch, Watkins in on Odegaard. The referee says keep going, play on, play on. Camera now forward towards Tielemans. He's challenged by Havertz, and then the pass from Tielemans is a little short to Konza, and it bounces back towards the edge of the penalty area, and Martinez has it. He should have it safely, even though Jesus arrives and puts his foot up playfully on Martinez.
Great energy from the players, great pressing, everybody trying to affect it, trying to take the ball in different situations, but end to end. And there's Bailey now, he's just got one in the back. Gabriel, maybe it's a slight knee to the back of him, but just going back to that chance.
Could he have done better, Martinelli?
I think it's such a tough angle, and you talk about the weather, it was swirling and it was just going to miss, I think, but it was cleared away, wasn't it? Carlos just getting back, but I was just saying Konza had done really well. I was just thinking great position, and he just switched off for a second. It's a great run. It wasn't wide, it was inside him, and you look to your left, and that's when you're not comfortable being in that position, and he got caught.
On the subject of the weather, if you're wondering, the one-day international in the Caribbean, as McGinn is upended on the halfway line, he weaved his way past a number of players, then went down. Free kick to Aston Villa. Last we heard, the one-day international had not yet begun because of rain, so West Indies England in Barbados will let you know what the latest is, but as far as I'm aware, it has still not started. Yeah, still no play, still not started, so we'll have more on what the prospects are at half time. Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0, and here is Martinez again, putting his foot on the ball. Jesus arrives, cleared at the last moment, but out of play, straight out of play. Jesus did enough to put him off. Going to keep an eye on those two, Jesus and Martinez. I'm not ruling out that they could have a bit of a do before the end of the evening. Here is Jesus carrying the ball away from the penalty area and giving it to Gabriel, but then Konza steps in ahead of Martinelli, and now Konza, he's got Zinchenko, and Martinelli's robbed it back, and now Havertz running to the edge of the box. Havertz across, Jesus with a touch, Odegaard, great chance, great save. Martinez down to his right, Odegaard there, a clear sight of goal. There were players between him and the goal, but he found his spot but couldn't beat Martinez diving down to his right.
Yeah, there might have been a foul in the build-up, they were waiting, but it's a brilliant set on the edge of the area. And when Odegaard comes inside, you talked about that left foot, but he had a lot of space, he had a lot to aim at, but again he just read it, didn't he? Martinez down to that right-hand side, and good save. I don't think it was the cleanest of strikes though, but there might have been a foul. The Villa supporters and management staff would have been onto the referee if that had gone any further.
As Ollie Watkins forces the conceding of a throw-in near the corner flag, and Villa 1-0 up with half-time approaching. Konza in no hurry here. 1-0 at half-time will do Villa very, very nicely indeed. 1-0, same as the full-time scoreline on Wednesday night when Unai Emery got the better of Pep Guardiola for the first time. Villa's first win against Manchester City for over 10 years. Villa in possession. Here's Pau Torres. Torres left-footed towards Bailey. Got the ball down with his shoulder as much as anything else, but bounces away from him. Jesus though at full tilt, passed the ball in field and then ran into his opponent. No free kick. Tielemans does exceptionally well to keep his feet. Plays it through to Watkins. Oh, saved by Raya. Diving to his right, got a hand to it, but the offside flag was up. Watkins was offside.
Yeah, he was offside. Big save, by the way. Goalkeepers took a lot of criticism, credit where credit's due. That's a top save. I know the flag goes up, but under pressure, Watkins a lot of time to pick that spot. Yuri Tielemans, fantastic. He's getting in good position, but
that was a tight one.
I tell you what,
I think it was offside though.
It was very tight.
I think it was offside. But it's Darren Cann, who is the assistant down here, who has... It feels like Darren Cann's been an assistant referee for about 30 years. So he's one of the most experienced and one of the best.
Should have heard what he said about you.
He could equally say that. Mark Chapman says that sort of thing all the time, and I never take offence. Here's McGinn left-footed to Bailey on the right-hand side. Bailey up against Gabriel, one way then the other, quick feet, still Bailey, he's got Camara behind him. Bailey then gives it away on the edge of the penalty area, passed it straight into the path of Havertz, who I think was clipped, and as he plays that forward, the referee will bring it back for the foul. Right decision, free kick Arsenal.
Yeah, he's tried to play advantage wherever possible, the referee. At that point he couldn't, went into the advanced area. Martinelli trying to get him behind, but there was a clip, wasn't there, on Havertz, and I think the referee is going to have a word, and he's let a couple go, hasn't he? To be fair, we want to see that. We want to keep the game flowing wherever possible. That's in a good position as he breaks away, Havertz.
It was, and I think Camara did know what he was doing there, didn't he? A little foul, could have been a yellow. Zinchenko passing the ball from inside his own half. Jesus is onto this, he's in the box. Jesus against goal, shoots, saved by Martinez and then put wide and behind at the back post by Digne because he didn't know where Saka was. And are you suggesting Jesus might have been caught there because he's gone down on his back?
He's definitely feeling something, or whether it was his follow through. Does really well, runs the channel, takes a touch, comes inside his right foot, and it's a big effort. And I just think it's where he's hit it. He's hit the defender on his foot. Martinez diving to the left-hand side, but he doesn't look in the best of shapes, does he, on his knees?
He doesn't. Just climbing to his feet. What you must say about Arsenal tonight, unlike Manchester City the other evening when they had those two chances for Haaland, Arsenal now in this match have created a whole list of opportunities, and Martinez has now made really a string of saves, and that one there from Jesus. So it's a corner to Arsenal. From the far side, their right, in-swinger from Saka, little steps from him, and it goes to the near post, and Watkins heads it wide of his own near post, stretching for it. Thought for a moment there that could have been going anywhere, but it's behind for another corner.
Yeah, it's a great battle right in front of the goalkeeper. Douglas Luiz, Saliba, was trying to get any sort of contact, but Watkins just had to take a chance, didn't he, because it was such a dangerous ball in, right in front of the goalkeeper, and just goes over.
1-0 Aston Villa are leading. The early goal, the 7th minute goal from McGinn, but Arsenal putting pressure on Unai Emery's team. It's going to be Saka again from that far side, their right. Same routine, ball into the near post again, right into the gloves of Martinez, who catches it, goes down, and then suggesting that he's taken a knock in the ribs. Has he, Michael, really?
Listen, it was a brilliant take. Come on, let's get yourself up, let's get playing. What a take that was under pressure, wasn't it? All of the Villa players inside the sort of the penalty spot. Just look and see now if there's a bit of a battle. Declan Rice goes to the ground, yeah. But there was no shirt or anything in that, was there?
But he's taking a risk. He is taking a risk, Pau Torres, challenging Rice like that inside the penalty area. Martinez seems to have recovered and clears the ball downfield. Obviously wasn't as bad as he initially thought.
I thought that it was a great take, wasn't it? A couple of good saves from him, but let's just get on with it.
As Camara loses out. And now Zinchenko, he's under pressure, giving it away to Camera. Here's McGinn, 25 yards out, carries it towards the edge of the box, goes past Havertz, finds Tielemans. Tielemans clips it into the back post. That's headed away by Saliba, only to the edge of the box. Havertz gets up. There's a little back heel in there from Douglas Luiz, and it lands at the feet of Konsa. We're in the 45th minute here, so very shortly we'll be back to Mark Chapman. We'll round up everything that's been happening in the football and sporting world this afternoon, and I'm sure more on Bournemouth's famous win at Old Trafford, their first win against Manchester United at Old Trafford. All pressure on Saliba inside his penalty area and passing the ball across his own 6-yard box and straight out for a corner.
Right, it's under a pressure, but just not sure where the goalkeeper is. Just tries to play it blind, and it was poor, wasn't it? You see, Emery just say, take your time, walk in. Just really delay this set piece. Make sure it's always towards the last things we do. As you see, the added time.
Staring away to my right towards the Holt end. That's where Bailey is going to take this corner, a very cheap corner, cheaply conceded by Arsenal. Again, they are absolutely crowding David Raya. Bailey plays it into the near post, comes off the head of White, heads it across his own penalty area, and then the clearance completed by Saka and Martinelli. Digne turns it low, back to Pau Torres, who's going around Odegaard, left foot cross from him to the back post, and it's taken down by Gabriel Jesus in there, who runs away from Bailey inside his penalty area and uses Zinchenko behind him. Arsenal just slipping it forward. Zinchenko to Havertz, who goes on and goes down as he went past Konsa, and again we see Mikel Arteta's coaches, Albert Stuyvenberg on the edge of the area, Graham Scott, the fourth official.
Desperate for yellow cards, aren't they, when they're jumping off there, trying to gain any advantage, but
the coaches,
that tells you the frustrations there.
They've learned from the main man. Ball played over the top by Zinchenko. There's no flag yet. Martinelli in the area. Martinelli swings it across, and there is now the flag. And it is an offside decision against Aston Villa. Yes, no Mikel Arteta on the edge of the coaching area today. Bailey has gone down. That's a worry for Aston Villa. And referee Gillett is just coming across to see how he is. I suspect Graham Scott, the fourth official, might have been thinking, well, there's no Arteta on the touchline today, won't have to deal with him.
He's now
and now he's actually...
It doesn't make no difference because they're well drilled. They're going to be on top of Graham Scott, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bailey just maybe just feeling the effects of something. Later stages of this first half now is just important from a Aston Villa point of view. They just see it out, play into this corner now from the goalkeeper, and obviously listen to see what the manager's got. It'll be a really successful first half if it can stay like this.
1-0 Aston Villa lead. Bailey is back up, didn't need treatment, and the ball is with Raya. Overarms it out towards Zinchenko. Gabriel Jesus again back into his own half. Zinchenko's ball over the top. This is for Martinelli to chase, but Martinez, the goalkeeper, gets there first. And downfield, his clearance lands on the chest of Zinchenko, who passes it just here to Jesus, and Bailey stops the pass infield, and the half-time whistle goes, and there we are. And public address man sounded as though he'd lost his voice in the first half. Maybe he hasn't recovered from Wednesday night. So 1-0 Aston Villa lead. That really well worked early goal from inside their own half. Camera involved, Tielemans, Bailey, and eventually the turn and shot in by McGinn. But Arsenal have created chances, lots of chances, but they've not been able to find a way through against Villa and their goalkeeper Martinez.
Well, they haven't. They've had those chances. Martinez has just managed to guess right, get into the right areas, but again, some tame shots when they've got in good positions, Arsenal. So for their creativity, the way they move the ball around, they haven't been the best, but Aston Villa started very, very well, threatened early and then managed to get that goal. They've showed good promise, haven't they? Tried to play percentage in key areas and seen the pressure they put on the goalkeeper from set pieces, but overall it doesn't matter, as you say, going in at 1-0 they've got to be delighted.
Thank you, Michael. Already looking forward to the second half. Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0.
That's just a really enjoyable first half, Michael, isn't it? And hope I don't live to regret this, but helped by a referee who's actually just let it flow.
Well, we said that in commentary. He's tried wherever he possibly can just to say, keep it going. Small fouls, he's sort of said no, and that sets the tone straight away for the game, chappers. And that's what we say. Well, everybody's up, getting on with it, trying to keep it going. It's end to end at times. Full credit to the players. Difficult conditions, great pressing from players, desire to get the ball back, and then trying to run into good positions, good diagonal passes. We've seen Villa as well try to work their way out, then try to spin it in behind, but really entertaining. But Villa in this position, chappers, is incredible.
Second half on the way with John and Michael. Earlier in the Premier League, Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2, Brighton 1, Burnley 1, Manchester United 0, Bournemouth 3, Sheffield United 1, Brentford 0, Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Plenty of reaction to come to those results before the second half. First, Carl Hartley with the news at 6:20.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. There's been further heavy fighting in Gaza a day after the US blocked a UN Security Council resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire. Washington has been fiercely criticised, but American officials say the proposal was imbalanced. A 16-year-old boy has been charged with the murder of Leanne Gordon, who was shot dead in Hackney, East London on Tuesday evening. He's also been charged with the attempted murder of a 20-year-old man and a 16-year-old boy. He's due to appear at magistrates on Monday. The Trades Union Congress says it'll not rest until a law to provide a minimum level of service during strike action is repealed. The TUC has called the measure malicious and unworkable. The government says it will allow the public to continue accessing vital services. And passengers on dozens of flights at Gatwick Airport have faced long delays after an air traffic control problem. The airport has apologised and says the issue has been resolved.
On BBC iPlayer,
this is DCI Silver.
The award-winning series Vigil returns. Murder at a military airbase.
Take cover! Medic!
This is tantamount to an act of war.
And a brand new investigation.
What evidence do you even have?
I have enough.
Starring Suran Jones.
I love you.
And Rose Leslie.
Come home, please.
Vigil starts tomorrow on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Second half of Aston Villa Arsenal to come with the home side leading by 1-0. Let's get reaction to a lot of the early games, though. Starting at Old Trafford, Bournemouth comfortable winners against Manchester United by 3-0, their first ever win at Old Trafford. Dominic Solanke amongst the goal scorers.
Obviously winning away at Man United in a stadium like this against a team like United is something that everyone dreams of as a young child, really. So to manage to do it, and especially with that deficit as well, to do it by 3-0 is incredible.
As a player and the mindset coming here, Manchester United have shown their best side this season. They've also shown their other side. Did you feel like this could be your day?
Yeah, I think with the way we've been playing recently, we feel like we can beat anyone on our day. Obviously, we know it's always going to be difficult. Every game's difficult, and especially a team like United, if they turn up on a day, it's going to be a really tough game. But like I said, we've been playing really well recently. Beat some top sides in the last few weeks. So we're confident, and hopefully we can continue in this way.
And can I just ask about your coach? Obviously new to the English game. It took a while. I think he admitted that himself. New ideas, new ethos. But what are you feeling from him? What are you sensing from him moving forwards?
Yeah, he's a great manager. Obviously, we had a slow start. But that's always kind of expected. New manager coming in, we all need to adapt. We all need to gel together. And I think it did take a bit of time, even though we had a tough schedule but at the start of the season. But I think it's all starting to click now. And it's going on to the pitch, so everyone can see.
Gary Flintoff with the questions there, and he also spoke afterwards with Eric Ten Hag.
Well, Eric, clearly a chastening afternoon, but how would you describe the performance today?
We started poor. We got a one shot by almost penalty, and then our build-up was too slow, but most important in such a moment that we get the right positions, and you can't be hammered after we lose the ball there. And then from that point on, you're following facts, especially against this Bournemouth side, very cool transition team. All the credits to them, because then you make life easy for them. And we put a lot of effort in to return in the game. I think we had a lot of attacks the first hour, but we didn't score. And probably the brilliance in the box, the movements in the box were not there, but we didn't return. And then it's very disappointed that you concede 2-0, and then the belief went down in the team.
How frustrating is it from a pure coaching perspective that during the week we see perhaps the best of Manchester United, and yet within a few days we see the performance such as that?
Yes, but it's all to do with the start of the game. We should be better, and we have to work on it. We have to improve, because this is not good enough.
Not been the easiest week for Steve Cooper at Nottingham Forest today. He saw his side draw 1-1 at Wolves. Here he is.
Proud of the performance. And if we were just to look at the game in isolation, you would say satisfactory day in terms of away performance and a point on the road, which is so hard to come up against. We're obviously really disappointed with the throw-in decision before their goal. I mean, how they can make such a basic error. I know they're young officials at this level, but they've got enough experience to make basic decisions correct. Then you add the context of us stopping the losing run, of some of the noise I would imagine that's been around that definitely hasn't come into the training ground and my head. We're two together to let outside influence get involved, and I say that obviously respectfully. We needed a reaction after Fulham. We let the supporters down, and we let each other down. There was two ways of dealing, I thought, with Fulham today. There was either sulk and hide away and maybe, who knows, get a repeat performance that can happen, or there's an acceptance of responsibility, stand up, be counted, and try and put things right. And I thought we made a small step forward to the supporters today, of not just the ones that are here, they're obviously incredible, but the ones I know would have been watching worldwide, because that's what we are, a global club. Made a small step to put in Fulham right a little bit, but we've got a long way to go on that. And with all of these things that may be involved with the current situation, for the players to go and play like that and to fight for each other and show the quality around the chances we created and is away from home is something I know that's there, as well as the togetherness and the belief in each other. Let's use it to move forward.
Match of the day is 10:20 tonight on BBC One, and if you watch it, you'll see a fantastic goal by James McAtee for Sheffield United as they beat Brentford 1-0 to give Chris Wilder his first win since returning to the club.
You have to enjoy days like today. I thought we were outstanding Wednesday night. We pushed an incredible side really close. And tonight we had to match that up. We were a bit off of it first half. I thought the energy levels weren't as good as what we would have liked them to be. Is that because of what they did on Wednesday night? Possibly so, but we never took a step back second half, really stepped into the game, created some good chances, suffered with a little bit of the death when we had to. We possibly should have put the game to bed a little bit sooner than what we did, but the scenes at the end were good and deserved, and now the key is to have more of those days like we've had today.
Gives you something to build on. I know it's Chelsea next, but the confidence must be great now.
Yeah, small steps. Small steps. We've had 2 days training. I know a few of the boys, obviously, from my time here, and kept my eye on a few of the young boys. I thought, if you look at the squad as well, Asula's had to go again today, playing against Van Dijk and Kanate and two experienced players, Pinnock and me today, and you can see he just ran out of legs. And Brooks, I thought, was outstanding first half, and there's a lot of youth in there as well. There's a lot of experience that wants to do well. There's a lot of new players that are finding the way at this football club. Anis was outstanding when he came on, and everybody played their part. So small steps. We've obviously got a week to work, but I'm not getting carried away. But like I said, there's so many times, especially for this football club this season, where we've had poor days, and this is one to be celebrated, like we will do. And then we move on to Chelsea.
Finished Brighton 1, Burnley 1 as well this afternoon. So that means Brighton have now scored and conceded in each of their last 20 league matches. Here's Roberto De Zerbi.
Brighton is a very good team, but Brighton is not a big team yet, because winning against Burnley, against Sheffield, against Fulham, because we played better than opponent. We played very well the 3 games. Winning this game, we would be at the on the table, 32 points. But the problem is, I think we are not a top club yet. We have some problem when we deserve to win the game, but we didn't win.
How do you reinforce this side, and what's the message to the players so they do become a big team in your eyes?
I think we have to dream, because Brighton, now the people on football are used to think Brighton is a top team, no? As a Manchester United, as a Newcastle, as an Aston Villa, but it's not true. But inside of dressing room, inside of the squad, inside of my staff, we have to dream.
That's Roberto De Zerbi. So all the goals match the day 10:20 on BBC One in the Football League. Wins for the top two in the Championship, Leicester and Ipswich, and Leeds in third, one earlier in the day at Blackburn as well. QPR towards the bottom have now won 3 straight as they try to get out of the bottom 3. The League 2 leaders Stockport were held at Morecambe. The top 2 in League 1 play on Monday, which is Portsmouth and Bolton. Loads to react to tonight on 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton.
Yeah, yes, there is one here from Bournemouth fans who are travelling back, that long trip back. What a performance. Where do they think they can finish this season under Andoni Iraola? Manchester United fan. I mean, where do you go with Manchester United? The only thing consistent about them this season is their inconsistency. How do they move forward? Is Erik ten Hag the right manager to take them forward? I think he is, but what do Manchester United fans think?
Do you think the players think he is?
I'm not so sure now. I mean, stories coming out last week, weren't there? And those stories sort of remedied a little bit with the victory and the performance against Chelsea, in fairness. But today, being humbled in the backyard by Bournemouth and 3-0 flat at Manchester United, in truth. So wonder what Manchester United fans think about that. Steve Cooper, important point, I think, for Steve Cooper. Small step forward. He spoke about Nottingham Forest fans. I think that they believe he's the right man to take the club forward. Interesting just hearing Roberto De Zerbi there. Brighton, not a big team yet. Is he slightly harsh? And Liverpool are finding a way to come back and just win games. That's a great sign, isn't it?
08085 909 693 to talk to Chris and Robbie at the conclusion of the game at Villa Park. Just a couple of other sports stories for you. England beat India by 4 wickets to win the Women's T20 International Series with a game to spare. The men also meant to be in action, but their ODI against the West Indies has been delayed because of rain. Wins so far today in Rugby Union's Champions Cup for Bath, Exeter and Toulouse. Half-time scores: Bulls 20, Saracens 6, Munster 14, Bayonne 3, and the Nicky Henderson trained John Bond won the feature race of the day at Sandown, the Tingle Creek Chase. Both sides back out at Villa Park. The home side lead by a 0-0. Michael Brown and John Murray.
Thanks, Mark. Enjoy your Saturday night, won't you?
Oh, yes, I will. What?
Have you got your dancing shoes on?
Have I got my No, I most certainly haven't. I'm just going for a quiet drink with the team to say thank you for the year. That's all, John. Just being nice.
Well, that is you all over. So enjoy that.
Look, you're working. Otherwise, you would have been invited.
Well, thanks, Chappers.
Yeah, you wouldn't. But I mean, that's another story.
Anyway, on with the important matters of the evening. Aston Villa have had to make a change, Michael. Leon Bailey did go down at the end of the first half, so that's a loss, obviously. However, they're still able to call on Moussa Diaby, the club record signing, so he is onto the field. The second half begins with Aston Villa leading by 1-0 in this huge match here under the floodlights at Villa Park. And Villa attacking now towards the north stand to our left. Claverton blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks against the lime green, the luminous yellowy green shirts with the wobbly black stripes of Arsenal, who are often attacking over on the left hand side. Arsenal as they started the game, but Diaby coming on for Bailey.
Yeah, they've had to make that change because he did look lively. They go Martinelli.
Martinelli on the left hand side for Arsenal into the penalty area, cuts back against Konsa, plays it across but into the path of Aston Villa's Douglas Luiz, and he, arriving at pace, was able to sweep the ball away, but that was an opening.
Yeah, big opening, lots of space. It's a little bit of contact there. Zinchenko and McGinn, but started lively.
Yes, it has. As the first half started, Jesus into the penalty area, goes down. Challenge came in on him from Douglas Luiz, but the ball was bouncing up and bobbling around, and I think it had got away from Gabriel Jesus. Although Arsenal have got it back, and Saka missed his kick, came at him round about waist height at pace.
They want something here, but they're getting around the referee.
Yeah, I think the referee is saying, Jared Gillett is saying, we're going to have a look at this challenge on Gabriel Jesus. And as I say, the ball's bouncing around, it bounced up.
He does catch him on the bottom of the leg, and on the bottom of the calf.
Yeah, he did.
Him. And
Douglas
he goes down, arms up.
Douglas Luiz turns, the ball bounces between them, he turns, and as he lifts his foot to kick the ball, Gabriel Jesus, as his leg is in the way, and he kicks the back of his leg.
Yeah, but how much contact? What sort of impact? You see, that's what we're talking about, John.
It's been dismissed.
Because really, was there any sort of contact? There's a tiny touch.
Well, you just never know. I have to say, I've got thoughts in my mind of seeing that sort of thing given as a penalty by VAR. But it hasn't given it today.
We're all waiting in anticipation to see what's going to be given, but it's a great start. Full credit to these players coming out second half, going straight at it. Both teams, and Arsenal gained momentum, but Saka just down. But yeah, forced to make that change, and will be disappointed they have to do that with Leon Bailey looking impressive for the first 10-15 minutes. Then he got quieter, to be fair.
Well, we'll make a note of that anyway, because it might come up post-match. As the ball is played through, and Martinez is able to slide out at the feet of Gabriel Jesus. He was always the favourite to get that quickly out of the 6-yard box, and slid out and took the ball near the edge of the penalty area. So the penalty shout for Douglas Luiz's challenge on Jesus. So Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0. Villa with Tielemans centrally, then Camara, and now McGinn finds Diaby, who tried to turn the ball through into the path of Tielemans, but having just come onto the field, just overhit that, although it's won back well by McGinn. Now here is Diaby inside the penalty area on the right hand side, then back to McGinn again near the edge of the box, pulls his left foot over the ball, curls it across the edge of the area, and it bounces up and hits Saka on the arm, but his arm was right next to his leg where it was controlled, and that was instantly dismissed by referee Gillett, who I think will have had a good view of that. Martinelli now as Arsenal break away, but Konza puts in the challenge, and Martinelli's claiming that, well, he's making it look like Konza has stood on his foot. The ball's bounced out of play. It's been given as a throw-in, which Konza has taken, but the referee says, hang on, I'm just going to come across and have a look at and see how Martinelli is.
Well, as well, Zinchenko saying 100%. It was a poor header, and Martinelli goes to the line. He's trying to get another look, whether there's maybe just a foot on the top of his right at the end of the challenge. Yeah, sort of stamped on his toe. You saw one when it's a bit cold.
He's on his feet, he's okay, didn't need treatment, and it's a throw-in for Villa, who have Martinez in goal, back four of Konza, Carlos, Torres and Digne, then Luiz and Camara, now Diaby the substitute, Tielemans and McGinn, and Ollie Watkins as the centre forward. John McGinn, scorer of the only goal so far in the 7th minute here. And Arsenal with Zinchenko passing the ball forward. Martinelli now is onto this on the left-hand side. Martinelli against Konza again. He's in the box, right-footed cross. Saka diving for it, but headed away by Digne. Still Arsenal on the edge of the area, but the referee spotted. The flag is up over to our right, and it's a free kick to Villa on the edge of the box. So Arsenal, as they started, Raya in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko, they're back four, but Zinchenko very often stepping into the midfield. Odegaard, Rice and Havertz, Saka, Jesus and Martinelli. On 5 Live, lines are open for 606 now, as we heard from Chris Sutton. So if you want to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris on 606 08 085 909 693. If you're a Bournemouth fan on the way back from witnessing Bournemouth's first win at Old Trafford against Manchester United, I'm sure they would love to hear from you. Likewise, if you're a Manchester United fan who were there today.
I might have to tune into that one on the way home. I think there'll be quite a few talking points. I don't think Chris will wind it up too much, but we'll see.
I wouldn't have thought so. As the ball was out of play for a throw-in to Villa just down in front of us. All of the action, you can read all about it on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. Highlights on Match of the Day tonight. and all the way until 2029 now, after the news this week that Match of the Day will be on our screens and our devices until then, and of course anytime on the iPlayer. Here's Havertz, centre field. Havertz overhits the pass through. Konsa got there comfortably ahead of Martinelli. Another good test for Konsa today against Martinelli, and so far he's coming up strong. Arsenal, unlike Manchester City, have created chances here though against Villa, and here they come again, attacking towards the Holt end. Saka curls it in, looking for Jesus, but Martinez quickly out, caught the ball, delivers it downfield. Diaby goes down, shoulder to shoulder with Gabriel, wanted the free kick, and Jared Gillett's having none of that. Unai Emery is standing there waving his arms around and round, windmilling them, but no free kick.
Is that for the free kick, or is to get his players to get going a little bit more? I just wasn't sure. It was a strange reaction. Come on, a little bit more from everyone, just a bit more intensity, because Arsenal are just starting to get in.
Arsenal, Rice curls a high one over the top down the right hand side. Saka does really well, beats Digne into the area. He's claiming that he's been pulled back. Yep, that was the assistant who gave that. Yellow card for Digne and a free kick in the full-back position.
Yeah, it's an easy one because Saka does so well, turns quickly, drives into the area. Luca Digne knows once he's got the other side of him, the left hand comes out, then the right is pulling the shirt back. Saka just goes, okay, thank you very much, I'll wait. And now he's got a problem.
Yeah, interesting one that. It just sort of, I felt there, Saka could have kept going, could have got away into the penalty area, but he's brought, he did what he did. The reaction was arms appealing, free kicks given, and as you say, Michael, now he's up against the left back who's on a yellow card. So it might be a gamble that was worth it, depending on how the rest of the match goes.
Just look at Odegaard's position there. Where's he going? Why is it behind the two-man wall? So strange.
Yeah, so it's a free
just
kick
to stop
in the
the goalkeeper's
position.
view, is it?
Yeah, possibly. So there's a two-man Villa wall. The angle's very tight, and Odegaard is sort of wandering around behind the two-man wall, and now he's actually joined in the side of that wall. And here is Saka playing it into Odegaard, who was actually challenged by, I think it was Digne, who was one of the two men in the wall, and David Raya's on the halfway line, and he's hit the ball downfield. Pau Torres overhead kicks it into the box, and Martinez comes and catches it. What an unusual little period of play that was.
So what they tried to do, he tried to bump the edge of the wall, the two-man wall from the wide free kick, and he's just tried to receive the ball on the back foot to set Saka back for that shot in a much better area, but the pass was to his inside foot, which just allowed a bit of contact. So it looked very messy, but you can see what they were trying to do.
Almost as messy as Austin McPhee's hair there, who is the Villa coach with the long blonde hair that I'm sure you'll have seen on the television. It's such a breezy day today. As Martinez plays it out, bounces back into the penalty area. That was risky, but Villa have survived, and now it's played forward towards Tielemans to Digne. Digne passes it back, but Tielemans didn't continue his run, so Arsenal are back in possession. Jesus, central third of the field, back to Declan Rice. If you've just switched on, Aston Villa are winning 1-0 against Arsenal, who've lost only once in the Premier League this season. Arsenal, that controversial defeat at Newcastle. Here is Saliba, back to Declan Rice. Rice strokes the ball through the defensive line. Ben White's onto this. White with a cross comes off Tielemans. I thought his arms were up there, but it bounces behind off Tielemans, and it is a corner.
He gets done there, Tielemans, and he's got a problem. They were already lining the substitution up, Ramsey, and then he probably think he's going off for 1 second. They just get in behind him. He gets very lucky, then puts his arm up and say, I need to come off, but it was a great recovery run.
Jacob Ramsey is coming on, as Michael Brown says, for Tielemans. Yeah, he's hobbling, got a problem. What's that? Is that hamstring or is it groin? So Tielemans is walking off the field. Latest scores in those Champions Cup matches that are going on: Bulls 20, Saracens 6 now, and Munster 14, Bayonne 10, both 5:30 kickoffs. Later there's commentary on Sports Extra on the Bristol-Lyon match. So Jacob Ramsey is on, the ever popular Jacob Ramsey, the 22-year-old, the Birmingham lad who was part of the England under-21 winning squad at the end of last season, but if you remember, got injured at that tournament and has struggled with that foot injury since, so not really played much of a part this season. But he's on and Tielemans is off, and they're having a good look at him down there. Corner then to restart play. Saka to take this in front of the Holt end, left-footed into the near post. Martinez comes, hits the post. Somehow the ball doesn't cross the line. He came front. There was a defender there, not an Arsenal player. There was a flap from Martinez. It hit the post, bounced down, and somehow there was no one on hand to put it into the net.
And he's shaking his head. The delivery's so good, right into that front post area. Watkins sort of leaves it, he flaps, and then it hits him inside of the post, just about to go in. And then the clearance, desperate from everybody, just trying to see it off the line, but very fortunate. It doesn't go in the net.
Hit Watkins. First of all, it's flapped it by Martinez into Watkins.
Hands on his palms, is it?
Yeah, hit the post, stayed out and was cleared away. And so Villa still lead by 1-0. But that is a scare properly survived by Aston Villa. That could easily have been the Arsenal equaliser. But when things are going your way,
yeah, they've had to make 2 substitutions though that they wouldn't want to do. Tielemans in particular, he was getting some great positions, so whether that's a one where he's felt it, he knows I can't go any further with so many games coming over the Christmas period. Just thought, well, I'll come out of it now and I might be okay.
Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0. And it is Arsenal who've seen much more of the ball in the second half. Here's Havertz, left side of the area, across, Odegaard with the chance, but he shoots wide, arriving near the penalty spot, left foot, whipped it wide of the right post.
Yeah, Arsenal are creeping in now. Good run, Villa just caught in different positions because of the midfield runs in between, because they got Martinelli, Saka so high, and they just creep in between full back and centre back. As Havertz pulls it back, Odegaard gets to the area. He's got to score, hasn't he? Pulls it wide.
That's 2 big chances the Arsenal captain has had. One in the first half, saved by Martinez, when the feeling was that Odegaard was going to bury that. And that one there, trickier, arriving at pace, but only narrowly wide. And as Michael Brown says, you expect those to end up in the net.
It's ever since we mentioned how good his left foot was. The next 2 that have come our way, maybe we shouldn't say that. I think Arteta will be having a word with you, Joe, I think.
Yes. Hopefully not too forcefully. He's got that FA charge as well that he has to answer. Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0. He's watching from up just in front of the smoked glass frontage of the hospitality boxes of the Trinity Road stand here. And here is Zinchenko finding the pass back to Martinelli inside the area on the left-hand side, running at Konza, but it bounces away from him and Villa can clear away again. This is just about one-way traffic in the second half. We've got just over half an hour to go, but Arsenal have dominated this second period so far. Jesus back to Zinchenko turns and goes back into his own half. The closest they've come was when that corner was deflected onto the post, and I think Martinez was saying to Watkins, and the suggestion was that Watkins had shouted for it and was going to head it, and then left it.
Head it, but the ball was good, wasn't it? Havertz is just causing the Villa midfield a problem because he's just going so high, and once they start circulating the ball, they don't know where to go with it. Kamara just thinking, what do I do now? He finally comes back in after possession, but Arsenal just getting their distances correct, the passes, and getting their head up, and you see all the coaching staff trying to do something about it.
And I think the crowd feeling that the team need them inside Villa Park. That's why you can hear the noise now swirling like the wind around the inside of Villa Park. Pass forwards for Villa. McGinn, the goal scorer, shrugs off the challenge from Rice, then finds the pass to Diaby, right side of the box, onto his left foot, defenders are in there, he's played it all the way across to Digne, took a touch, shot straight at Raya, who is able to stun the ball dead and then collect it.
Yeah, John McGinn does so well, doesn't he, to stay up on the advantage, sweeps the ball out to that right hand side. Diaby is looking for space and he gets his head up really well as he puts the ball right across the face. Digne comes across.
That's what, as the ball's played forward, Saka takes it on past Martinez, puts the ball in the net, but I think all of Villa Park knew that there was going to be an offside flag, and there was indeed. So that goal does not stand for Bukayo Saka, and it's a free kick to Aston Villa.
Yeah, the flag went straight up. We're going to get another look now, see how tight it is. Oh, he looks it, doesn't it? Looks like he's just gone into that advanced position. Goalkeeper comes out, just flicks over the top of him, a simple roll in, but again, the manager here now looking to make changes because it's not as flowy, is it, for Villa?
No, it isn't, but they're looking at the possibility of the counter-attack with the speed of Diaby rather than the speed of Bailey, who's now been replaced, and then Saka goes down as Camara sort of was running alongside him, and it's a yellow card. So he must have stood on his foot as he went past him. Yellow card for Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, he keeps banging the floor, doesn't he? As if he's in some pain. The Villa bench looks very, very lively, lots of activity down there, but again, also kicking the ball away, I think straight away. As you're seeing now, no, there wasn't much in it. So I think it's really the kicking of the ball, I think
he did, just stepped on the side of his foot as he came in to challenge for it. But referee Jared Gillett has seen that as a deliberate action, and it's going to be another double change for Villa now. Matty Cash is preparing to come onto the field, and Dendoncker as well. Now, is this, from Unai Emery, is this a tactical switch, or has at least one more Villa player got a problem here? You know, the big effort that they put in on Wednesday night, and Saka is struggling. Play resumed. Referee wants the free kick taken again, and Saka is not moving well at all. He is still hobbling, and he's got his hands on his knees, and he's leaning down and feeling his left. I mean, it is his left foot. You know, whether it's bruising, whether it's something more serious than that, he is struggling. 1-0. So Arsenal might have to make a change. They are in communication with Mikel Arteta. That is allowed. As the ball bounces up, Saka is able to control that and play it back into his own half. Just keeping an eye on him, moving a little more smoothly now. Zinchenko, left-footed and forward, that's taken down by Konza. Might open the space up here. Cameras over the halfway line for Aston Villa, passing it forward to Diaby. Diaby against Gabriel, early ball into the near post, and Raya was well off his line there, but was able to dive back towards his goal and catch the ball, and then sprint to the edge of the area and underarm it out. We're still waiting for those next two Villa changes to be made. 1-0 Aston Villa lead. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693 to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. So book your call now. Rice carries the ball over the halfway line. Saka being roundly booed by the Villa supporters who obviously feel that he has made more of a couple of the challenges that they've been on him. Cash and Dendoncker look as though they can't wait to get onto the field on this chilly, breezy afternoon, stroke evening. Saliba to the right to Odegaard. Big chances he's had for Arsenal in the match. Turns, gives it back infield towards Saliba. Arsenal coming here, having won their last 6 matches, but 1-0 down. Rice, who scored the dramatic winner at Kenilworth Road on Tuesday night. Forward to Ben White on the right-hand side. White up against Digne, manages to find Saka. Saka has been taken all the way towards the corner flag by Pau Torres, and the ball deflected out of play off Saka, who then kicked the ball across the pitch towards the 6-yard area. The home fans suggesting that he kicked the ball away, but Jarrett Gillett isn't going to make anything of that. And here we are. Here are the next changes then. And Ezri Konza is coming off, so Cash coming on at right back, and he's walked off the field on the far side, Ezri Konza, and Boubacar Kamara. So Dendoncker into the midfield and Cash in at right back. I think he's okay, Konza.
Yeah, I mean, they were getting joy, as I said to you. Havertz starting to get in between there, Martinelli. They changed the shape as well, Villa. You've seen John McGinn shift across over to that right-hand side, trying to like a flat four with the two, Watkins and Diaby. So they've just been shuffled. That change has really made them do things they weren't comfortable with. That's give Arsenal that momentum, and seeing how this change is going to affect them. Obviously, the right-back situation's an easy one, and Donker just slots into the midfield as a replacement as well.
And Camara, I think he's okay. He's taking his seat on the claret-coloured comfortable seats in the Aston Villa dugout. 1-0 Villa lead through the early John McGinn goal. Aston Villa, who have won every game they've played at home in the Premier League this season, as the ball is played forward, but Cash is able to watch that bounce over the dead ball line. And indeed, of the 12 matches they've played in all competitions here at Villa Park this season, they've won 11 of them. The only defeat against Everton in the Carabao Cup. And Konza has been applauded all the way along in front of the Trinity Road stand, and he also takes his seat. So I think we can assume he's okay. But I think it is not insignificant, Michael Brown, that he's made 4 changes, and I suspect a large part of that is the effort that was put in against Manchester City on Wednesday.
Yeah, he just wants to keep freshening it up, keep as much momentum wherever possible, and these are the type of ones they need.
Here's one for Diaby to chase towards the edge of the Arsenal box. He's got the ball down, he plays it across, and the low shot from Watkins is saved, bounces back out off the goalkeeper, but there was no one following in. Diaby wasn't following in, and therefore Gabriel could say to his goalkeeper, there you are, you can come and collect it.
Well, there was something to run at, wasn't it, John McGinn? Just a big raking pass, and you just think he was looking for a 1v1. Really does well, picks out Watkins, takes the strike early, goalkeeper spills it. I bet he follows up the next one.
Might be too late, might not be another one. However, they're winning 1-0, but I think that's an indicator of what Aston Villa are capable of on the break here. Arsenal have got to be careful, but they are coming forward, and then in slides Dendoncker, but Arsenal are able to keep possession. Martinelli plays it across here towards the right hand side to White. Odegaard back to Ben White, and the Arsenal right back to Saka. Saka now wriggles away, trying to find a position, plays it into Jesus, who took the ball down at pace, but it bounced straight for Carlos, and Carlos was able to whack it away to comparative safety. Then Odegaard challenged by McGinn. That's a free kick. They don't like it, but it is. McGinn leaned into Odegaard, and it's a free kick to Arsenal, 2 or 3 yards outside of the penalty area, left of centre.
The sort of the ball wasn't there. He really needed just to leave Odegaard alone, and as soon as there was contact, he just falls straight down. He knew it was coming. It's a really dangerous situation. The area here now, lots of ways, but Villa fans trying to get behind the team, but John McGinn of all people be disappointed right in that area to give this away.
So Arsenal's first change now, and it is Martinelli who is off, and Trossard coming on to replace him on the left hand side. So the contest that we had on that side of the field, Martinelli against Konza, both of them have been substituted, and now we've got Trossard against Cash, completely different. But free kick, left of centre, good position this. So Declan Rice, Odegaard are behind the ball, the wall being lined up. Rice, Odegaard and Gabriel still in discussions. Gabriel moves away now, takes his position in the wall. So Declan Rice is teeing it up, just places the ball with his hands exactly where he wants it. That's giving the impression that it is going to be Declan Rice shooting for goal, but Odegaard is there as well, and he's making 1 or 2 urgings towards his teammates on the edge of the box, calls Havertz a little closer. He's also signalling to, I think, Trossard next to the wall. So free kick for Arsenal. Villa lead 1-0. 5 Live from the BBC. Odegaard runs over it, flicks it. Rice, low shot, deflected, took the pace off it though, and Martinez was able to fall on it.
Yeah, they had 2 options. Since he runs over it, Declan Rice comes on, and you know what? They've worked on it. This is so unlucky, this is, because they knew the wall was going to jump. He's drilled it low under the wall, and it's hit the man who was blocking him behind it. Really clever.
Aston Villa leading 1-0. This would take Villa up to 35 points. They'd be a point behind Arsenal and 2 points behind Liverpool, who are now top of the table after their win earlier. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693. Diaby has committed a foul. Then there was a foul by Declan Rice, but the free kick had already been given by the referee against Aston Villa. So Arsenal with the free kick inside their own half. The cricket still not underway in Bridgetown, Barbados, because of drizzle. More commentary tomorrow on 5 Live. All 4 Premier League matches on 5 Live Sports Extra or on the BBC Sport website. And then Champions League commentaries Tuesday and Wednesday. Manchester United against Bayern Munich live from Old Trafford. Newcastle against Milan live from St James's Park. So don't miss that on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Arsenal already going through in the Champions League as group winners. So they go to PSV and he'll be able to make changes, Mikel Arteta. Villa coming forward. Dendoncker with the pass forward, but straight into the path of Gabriel. And Arsenal have got it back. Odegaard, that's McGinn in at pace on Odegaard. And John McGinn is yellow carded, I think, for the force of that challenge as much as anything. He got the ball, but he certainly got the man as well. And Odegaard's taking a moment or two to recover from that.
Yeah, listen, there's contact, he dives, is he in control? He tries to turn away from it. Does he deserve a yellow card? It's a foul, but I don't know.
I seem to remember seeing challenges like that on occasions when I might have commentated on you.
Yeah, and what did you say? Play on, Michael. You're okay. Carry on.
That's that Michael Brown at it again.
We need to find some of that commentary. That's what we need to do. Well, that would be interesting.
Dip into the archives.
Find out if you were nice to me. That's
always nice. Here's Digne. He's now been challenged, and the Villa fans don't like that. This is going to be tense, I think, the next, well, probably 20 minutes and more. As the ball is played forward towards the halfway line, now it's Saliba, but Watkins and Digne are there, and it's taken on by Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey on the left wing. Rice putting in the tackle there, bounces out of play. Rice trying to lift his teammates. There is that feeling that Villa, having made the changes, have been refreshed a little. And I think Villa, Arsenal, they've pressed and not been able to find a way through.
Great battles on the pitch. Players giving absolutely everything to the cause. Just who's going to have that quality? Who's going to be able to find something different in this game? But it's the first time Villa have been anywhere up this end for a while. They need to just try and work a way of getting crosses in.
No team has got anything here in the Premier League against Aston Villa since February. But that was Arsenal. You might remember the 4-2, 2 late goals. Late drama then. They love a bit of late drama, Arsenal. Here's Pau Torres. Torres carrying the ball forward. Left-footed out to the right-hand side. McGinn brings that down brilliantly. Up against Zinchenko into the box. Goes for the byline and then tried to whip it in low and across. I think he might have actually tried to play it off Zinchenko. Failed. Straight behind him to the side, nothing, goal kick.
Yeah, Torres goes really well, doesn't he? Drives in with that left foot, diagonal pass, pinpoint into McGinn, but good defending in front of him, Zinchenko.
Arsenal playing it out from the back and then up towards Trossard, who's been forced all the way back by Dendoncker and has been forced to give it away to Ramsey. Ramsey now looks around for support. It's arriving from Luca Digne, and the French international gives it back to the Brummy. Ramsey towards the corner flag. In comes the challenge from Rice. Good tackle. However, it's conceded the corner to Villa.
Well played, Ramsey. Just turning, giving Arsenal something to think about. But Declan Rice, he's on your shoulder, he's waiting, just reaches out those long legs, defends well. You see a set piece now as the ball's held up. Douglas Luiz, what they're going to do, what's going to be different?
We're in the last 15 minutes of the 90 here at Villa Park, and Pau Torres, and now
he's just changed it. He bounced the ball, which means everybody around the goalkeeper. Last change.
Clear signal, bounced the ball very obviously, and everyone suddenly crowded Raya, who is right in the middle of an absolute thicket of footballers. In it comes, headed away brilliantly, took command there, did did Gabriel for Arsenal to head it away. Douglas Luiz, ball played back to him, bounced up, did well to keep it in play. Then Saka works it forward. Odegaard's after this, but it's won by Cash. Cash now shoots low, but well wide by 3 or 4 yards.
He stepped forward, didn't he? Matty Cash realised there was going to be a lot of danger. I didn't fully fancy, if I'm honest, when he tries that effort right across the goalkeeper, but interesting that they're still going to ring the goalkeeper. John McGinn's just causing problems right in front of him, putting his bum right in the line and stopping him get any momentum.
1-0 Villa lead. They've led since the 7th minute. They've led in 10 Premier League matches this season and gone on to win all of them. But Arsenal, leaders this morning, are really testing them out. And here is Rice, but Rice overran it and then tripped Cash, and it's a yellow card for Declan Rice. Huge cheers from the Villa supporters. Free kick to Villa in the central third. Referee Gillett just making note of that.
It was slightly high, wasn't it? Just the top of his knee at that point. Simple decision for the referee, but Declan Rice just getting frustrated that he couldn't drive any further forward, and even more changes going on.
Yep, the final Villa change, and it's Luca Digne who's going to be replaced.
The replacement of 12, Luca Digne. Please welcome number 15, Alex Moreno.
Alex Moreno coming on, having missed a large part of this season so far with a hamstring injury. He needed an operation at the end of last season, but now into the action. It's his 4th appearance of the season, all in these last 4 matches. So Moreno on at left back, the number 15. We have 12 minutes to play. Aston Villa 12 minutes away from what would be a club record 15th consecutive home league win. It would dent Arsenal's chances near the top of the table, obviously. Here's Watkins battling for it, manages to work it back to Ramsey, but challenges in for Arsenal as well. Jesus now, foot in from Pau Torres, but that will just roll all the way forward for a goal kick for Arsenal. This edgy wind continues to blow around Villa Park. It's not the dominant performance that we saw from Aston Villa against Manchester City, that below-par Manchester City the other evening. Arsenal have created lots of chances, but again, Villa have stood up strong. It's played forward towards Gabriel Jesus. Pau Torres in on him, no free kick. Villa with Douglas Luiz, but that pass gives it away to Odegaard. Then Donkado in on 2 challenges. Second one on Havertz. Douglas Luiz is able to take it on now, and then tried to find the pass to Cash, just intercepted. And so Arsenal will break forward over on the left-hand side. Odegaard now slipping it forward to Jesus. Defenders coming in from either side, and Moreno got a crucial touch on that to send it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, big touch, first contribution, getting into a good area. But it was Torres who left that centre-back position. He just didn't need to do it. He thought he could get it. Unfortunate.
It's absolutely in the balance, this. Villa are leading, but you cannot discount, in these conditions as well, these swirly, windy conditions, that maybe something unexpected will happen. Moreno gets the ball down from Martinez and passes it forward, took a deflection. That means Saliba has got it back for Arsenal. Saliba to Saka, claims that he was fouled. Yeah, he went down into the challenge from Moreno. More home frustration in the stands. They are not happy with Bukayo Saka, and Arsenal are preparing another change as well. Eddie Nketiah is going to come on. Unai Emery steps forward just while Arsenal take this free kick. Claps his hands above his head there, trying to urge his team on to what would be another valuable 3 points here at Villa Park. Zinchenko lifts a pass up to Trossard then back to Havertz. Trossard, little slip, but is able to keep his feet, and then slides it through low, but that was cut out by a sliding Cash. Arsenal come again though, but the referee has brought it back for a free kick to Villa near the edge of the penalty area. Must have been something after the ball had gone.
Yeah, everybody's not sure about the situation, but this is an interesting change from from Arsenal, but they've just got to try and find a way. The manager will be sending all the instructions down to the players and to the staff just to try and find a picture, find a run, find a way of getting 1-in-1s, you know, in the wider areas, or whether it be Odegaard who can just push through, but you know this guy can score a goal.
Yeah, here he comes, Eddie Nketiah. He's actually not scored since he converted that hat-trick against Sheffield United back in October. But most of his recent appearances, now last five appearances, have all been as a substitute. Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0. We will be able to hear from Mikel Arteta post-match. He's able to do the interview, so all being well, we'll hear him on 6:06. There's a push by McGinn on Zinchenko. Correct decision. We had a clear view of it. McGinn making a lot of that, but it was a free kick, and Arsenal take it quickly, chasing the game. Arsenal here, and we are into the last 10 minutes now. 6:06 will follow. 08085 909 693 to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Certainly if you're a Bournemouth or Manchester United supporter after the events at Old Trafford. Here is Nketiah, who is challenged by a sliding Dendoncker. That's a free kick. Free kick for Arsenal.
They're pressing out there, they're going really, really tight. Desperate challenges because Arsenal now are moving them. The concentration levels have got to be key from a Villa perspective. Fill the gaps, hold, delay, wait. Don't give stupid ones away though.
Saliba back to Ben White. Aston Villa, everyone behind the ball. Arsenal inside the home half here, attacking towards the Holt end, who strike up another chorus away to our right, trying to see their team through to this. Well, it would be an historic win. Forward it goes. Dendoncker steps in again. Then it's volleyed high and forward by Gabriel, but Cash is underneath that, and the referee's brought it back because an Arsenal man is down. Zinchenko in the centre circle. Whether he's taken a bang, no, he's okay. He's on his feet and he shrugs that off. Zinchenko. He's a tough guy, Zinchenko, and he just walks away and takes up his position again at left back. So play will resume with a drop ball. Well, there are now only 7 minutes plus added time to go.
As he's saying his one to his face, and at that point, so he stayed down. The referee decided to have a little look of him, make sure he was okay. But Zinchenko fuming.
Ball played up to Diaby. Ball gets away from him. He's still inside his own half. Then it's back to Cash, and then Cash does well. Slips the ball infield towards Dendoncker, who goes for a pass right across field. Moreno, no, that's too far behind him, and it bounces out of play. That presents a throw into Arsenal, halfway inside the Aston Villa half. Saka just bounces the ball to Ben White to take this quickly, which he does. Back towards the halfway line. Saliba carrying it infield, rolls his foot over the top of the ball, gives it back to Gabriel. Now it's over to the left-hand side to Zinchenko. Trossard pulls away to the left-hand side. He wants Zinchenko to play it ahead of him, which he does, but Cash is in. Cash gets the ball first. Villa could be away on the counter-attack, but McGinn overhits that with the outside of his boot. Overhits it way down into the left-back position, and Arsenal back in possession.
Yeah, Cash goes big on the challenge, doesn't he? He's still down. So is it Trossard, is it? Well, we'll see the outcome of it, but certainly had the effects. Declan Rice is just going to push it out.
Yeah, Trossard stayed down after that Cash challenge.
He goes strong, doesn't he? He goes big, he goes early.
I mean, the approach from Villa has been very clear right from the outset, and that has been to not give Arsenal any time on the ball. Just watching the Cash challenge again on Trossard. It's just as well he managed to get his foot down in the nick of time before he made too much contact there.
Yeah, there was obviously studs onto the shin pad. No wonder he's feeling it. It wasn't a great challenge, to be honest. But Cash went for it. He's just coming on. He's trying to set the tone, feel his way around. So a couple of tackles he's tried, and then a really nice bit of play where he's come around the corner. And Emery just with his two arms up saying, come on, keep it going. It's getting tense here.
And the Arsenal staff, I mean, there are four of them in the coaching area in the absence of Mikel Arteta, just generally milling around in there. So Graham Scott, fourth official, tries to make sure that they're behaving themselves. Unai Emery's virtually on the pitch. We're in the last 5 minutes now. Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0. Here's another high ball out to Trossard. No, he won't reach that. Huge cheers from over there in that corner of Villa Park. and that seconds continue to tick down here to what would be 8 home wins out of 8 in the Premier League this season. 15 out of 15 at home in a row in the Premier League, but they're not there yet, certainly not. Villa take the throw. McGinn, scorer of that thrilling opening goal, brilliantly worked goal it was, and a trademark turn and finish from 8 or 9 yards by John McGinn. Villa send a pass forward. Saliba should deal with this. Watkins is hurrying him. Gabriel then is caught in possession, and Odegaard had to get there before Ramsey, but he did for Arsenal, and now gives it to Zinchenko, approaching the halfway line, and Nketiah's gone down in the middle after a coming together off the ball, and he's holding his face. The ball's out of play for a throw into Villa, and clearly VAR will have a look at this. You know, it just caught my eye when Nketiah went down. I'm not sure who it was. Pau Torres has gone across to the referee to speak to him, and obviously VAR will have a look at this. Well, the cameras have focused in on Diego Carlos.
He's saying he's just put his left arm out, so there is contact, because he's even saying it.
Well, we're seeing this now. It was off the ball. I mean, the pictures are from a distance. We're now seeing another shot. Carlos just sort of raises his hand as Nketiah is making a move behind him.
Around towards his face, doesn't he?
I mean, it depends how you see that, really. It has been given as a free kick. Forward of the centre circle. Nketiah's okay. Yellow card for Carlos, so that's the only action is a yellow card for the Aston Villa number 3. Right, we've got 2.5 minutes to go. 08 085 909 693 to talk to 606. Zinchenko curls this to the edge of the area. It's headed back in there, edge of the box. Carlos puts in the challenge. The Arsenal man Havertz goes down, clutching the back of his head, quickly back on his feet though, and then Ramsey across in the left back area launches it into the Trinity Road stand here, just underneath the big screen in the corner, which is focusing on Diego Carlos. Throw-in taken. There's 2 balls on the field at the moment, and then it's passed away for Villa. Oh, well done by Watkins. Brought the ball down, played it infield, but straight into the path of Zinchenko. Time running out for Arsenal. Time ticking down dreadfully slowly for Villa, I'm sure, as it's cleared away. This is going to be one-way traffic, I'm sure, until the end of this match. It's just a question of whether Arsenal are able to find a way through here. White with a throw-in for the visitors. White. In comes Louise, just stabs it out of play again. Another throw-in. We've got 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to play. 1-0 Aston Villa lead. That's the hold end you can hear. White with the throw, headed away, cleared away by Watkins downfield. Diaby on the chase. Saliba is able to head it back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko, very cute from him, brings it down, then plays it left-footed. Saka now, in comes Moreno. Saka stands up, then shields the ball from Moreno. Saka, little pass towards Rice. It's Rice, king of the late goals. Now to Odegaard, left-footed ball in, beyond Nketiah, stab goalwards, and in! Havertz has forced it over the line, but the goal is ruled out. Referee Gillett says there was an arm in there. They thought that equalised Arsenal, but the referee says no.
Oh, incredible, right at the end. You said about late goals. Everybody around the referee, uncertainty. Goalkeeper's at him on the back post, yet he's on the floor just waiting to find out the decision. VAR checking it as well, but Saka does so well. There's maybe a little push on the back post. Cash is there, and it does hit his arm, doesn't it? On the bottom of Havertz's arm, and Nketiah just pokes it in. But is there a nudge? Is there an arm? Big decisions.
Well, is there an arm? Is there an Aston Villa arm before the Kai Havertz arm? I don't think so, and I think it's too high as well on his arm. It's above the t-shirt line. So referee Gillett was very decisive there. It was Nketiah and Havertz who were in on Matty Cash. The ball was forced over the line. But the question is, well, having a look at this, I mean, they surely will be given forehand ball. The referee has given it. You know, he was quite decisive there, Jared Gillett. Still, we're waiting for the decision, and there's a bit of pushing and shoving going around. before it was stabbed into the net. And we're seeing this now from several angles. And actually, it was Eddie Nketiah who in the end put the ball in the net.
But what a big decision late on in this game. They've got to get this one correct. They've got to get the angles quickly. They've got to make sure there can't be a mistake at this stage. And this is at the top of the table.
See, I think it is significant, isn't it, that it is
huge.
Or was it Havertz who put it in the net? It's actually a little difficult to tell depending on what angle you're seeing. They're looking now as it bounces off Cash's body. It's a question of where the hand is. Did it help him? This is a long check for the fourth of the video assistant referee, Michael Salisbury it is, who is watching this. They've zeroed in, they've stopped play, they've stopped the action on the screen. Now having another look at it, and it was Havertz who put it in the net, you know. And Nketiah was right there. And the goal is ruled out. The VAR has backed up Jared Gillett and his decision. And after a long check there, it remains 1-0 to Aston Villa. That goal is ruled out. And play will restart with a free kick to Aston Villa. And we are now 2 minutes into added time. And Martinez is talking away. In fact, he's been caught and he's got blood under his eye. Emi Martinez, the goalkeeper. I'm not sure quite how that happened in the middle of all that. Yeah, I think he collided with Cash. So 5 minutes of added time, and they'll have to patch up Emiliano Martinez.
Cash's left leg, the stud just came round and caught him right on the sort of the top of the cheekbone, lower eye, and it's just streaming down his face as he's getting that treatment. But what a huge decision, big one at the end of this game. Drama we've got. See a substitution from Arsenal. Zinchenko just leaves the field, but
right decision, Michael.
Do you know what, we've seen different angles, but we certainly on our first look seen certainly some arm, didn't we? And that was
seems to have struck his arm, and he's the man who put it in the net.
Yeah, and that's our first look, and it starts to get more confused the more angles we've seen later on in it.
So anyway, between them, they've come to the decision, which I have to say I think is probably the right decision on the evidence that we've seen, particularly since Jared Gillett had a very good idea of what happened. Right, Arsenal have made a change. Another change, Zinchenko off, Nelson on. 5 minutes of added time. There'll be more of that though, be aware. It is a minimum, remember. We're already in the 4th minute, and Aston Villa now. Aston Villa closing in on another famous win for them. Villa play it downfield. McGinn's chasing this ball. McGinn into the box on the right. Defenders coming back, and Gabriel's able to block the shot at source. Although it's won back by Ramsey inside the Arsenal area. He works it across. Rice is there to clear. Left foot shot, Dendoncker. That's blocked inside the penalty area. Time running out for Arsenal. Might not have too many more chances to get something out of this match. Havertz. Back to Gabriel. Now Saliba. Arsenal, so many late goals. 5 goals in added time at the end of matches in the Premier League this season. We are in the 5th minute of added time now. Can they do it again after they did it at Kenilworth Road on Tuesday to get 3 points? Here's Rice, the man who scored that goal. Rice to the edge of the penalty area. Looks for Nelson on the left-hand side. Nelson taking it away from the penalty area. Back to Gabriel, his cross under the head of Pau Torres for Villa, who's able to head it away back towards the far side. Ollie Watkins is there. Watkins just hits it downfield. There's no one there for Aston Villa. Unai Emery applauds above his head. Seconds away now from a win that will make it a new club record for Arsenal. Odegaard.
7, isn't it? Amazing from Villa.
Odegaard to Rice. Rice again running at the Aston Villa defence. Havertz on the left-hand side into the box. Cash goes down. Trossard turns. Still inside the Villa penalty area, but it's nicked away by John McGinn for Aston Villa, and he will run it away to the halfway line. I think he'll try and keep possession. In fact, he draws the challenge, which is out of play. We've now had 30 seconds of added time at the end of the 5 minutes.
Sensational ending to this game. the desire, determination from John McGinn. He's just ran the whole pitch, tried to get a strike and goal, and he's back recovering, and then he just holds it, delays, and he just draws the foul. Matty Cash just says, everybody just get yourself over, takes his time with this throw, and is there going to be one more chance for Arsenal?
Be a big win, another big win for Villa this, if they're able to see it out for the final seconds, and in fact they're doing more than that. Ramsey playing it through for Watkins, who can't reach it, and it rolls over the dead ball line. Well, we're now into time that's been added on for how long that last VAR check took, and it must have been a good 2 minutes. But we are now into the 7th minute of added time. A long one forward for Arsenal, but Martinez is able to control that. Havertz putting in the challenge, and the two of them have got to their feet and faced one another. Havertz, who doesn't like it but runs away, and Martinez is now being calmed down by several of his teammates. But the Aston Villa goalkeeper has got the ball safely and securely in his hands.
He couldn't do anything about it, Havertz. What Emi Martinez doing? It's just for effect. Going to the floor, causing a scene, he'll get himself into trouble. But what could he do there? He just ran over the back of him. It's like nobody can touch him. It's incredible.
But again, Martinez knows exactly what he's doing. He's got the free kick. I make it, we're now into the 8th minute of added time. The 8th minute of added time. Everyone at Villa Park in the home sections is saying, when is the whistle going to blow? Arsenal scored in the 7th minute of added time at Luton on Tuesday night for the win. Here we go. Martinez strikes this downfield, comes off Watkins, bounces through to Raya. He picks it up. Still we play on. Still we play on. Underarmed out by Raya. Odegaard, this has to be the last attack of the match. Odegaard, long and left-footed. Pau Torres is underneath that. Jared Gillett, still no sign that he's going to blow the whistle. Villa win it back. Arsenal win it back. Declan Rice now. Rice curls the ball in and catches it with a header over the bar, and the offside flag is up as well. And that has to be it. That's got to be it.
Surely got to be it. Great. The ball in, Declan Rice, and just as the ball goes into the centre, Nketiah pulls off on the angle. I think the official's spot on, by the way. Tries to head it from distance as he just gets inside the penalty area. The delays there. You can see everybody stood up. They realise what this could be to Aston Villa's season. Unbelievable here. What a performance.
A very different sort of performance to Wednesday night.
Gritty, everybody, team performance.
However, the result in terms of points won is going to be exactly the same. There's the goal kick from Martinez. Still we play. We're now in the 9th minute of added time. But that is it. And Unai Emery turns here and with both fists punches the air. What a happy man he is down there, and he's walking along the touchline. What a week for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. He's applauding the crowd, clenched fists again and again, high fives all along the line. What a 4 days Aston Villa have had. 1-0 wins both, but they've beaten the champions, and now they've beaten the team that was at the top of the league this morning in the space of that time. And history as well for Aston Villa. A new club record of 15 home league wins in a row. And this one secured by John McGinn's goal in the 7th minute. Michael Brown.
Well, what a night of football here, setting records and going into dizzy heights, Aston Villa side, but it was how they started. Yes, in the week it was a different performance against City, but they come out the blocks, they were determined, they wanted to run forward. Great move down that right hand side, and it was Bailey who managed to have that bit of magic into McGinn, who spun and got his finish away. But after that they were tested. Arsenal finally were creating opportunities, creating chances, were trying to push Aston Villa back, but they were determined. It was a team performance. They had to make changes for injuries, but then they just hung on and the fight was there, and John McGinn was excellent. He's just going in to congratulate all his teammates, but this is a huge win. Affects the Premier League, no doubt, but it's all about Aston Villa tonight.
But that big moment in added time at the end when Havertz was able to put the ball into the net, the question was, whether Jarrett Gillett got it right when he ruled it out for offside, and in the end VAR said he did.
Well, they did, and we had a long wait, and I said in the commentary, didn't we, we have to get this spot on. It affects everything at the top, even a title, and they had to make sure they took the time, and let's hope that we don't see anything else. But the pictures we did see, there was an arm struck, and then the decision was there, and it took a long time for the whistle. It felt like an age, and the celebrations there, and that was the decision. And finally, as that whistle went, what about the manager? A big result against Arsenal. Not only that, to get 2 in a week, it's got to be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, that shows you where Aston Villa are currently. Arsenal, only their second league defeat of this season. They've lost at St James's Park, now they've lost at Villa Park. So Liverpool stay top of the table, 37 points. Arsenal on 36, now Aston Villa on 35, and the champions Manchester City, who play tomorrow at Luton. That's one of our commentary matches tomorrow at 2 o'clock. They are back on 30 points, but what a night. 6:06 on the way. I'm sure Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will be anxious to hear your views on what unfolded here tonight and what you felt about that decision right at the end of the match. But Villa, we said this week, Michael Brown as a final word, if Villa were able to carry on this winning streak at home against Manchester City and against Arsenal, you cannot disregard them, and that's what they've done.
Well, you can't. You've got to dream, you've got to have performances on the pitch, and when you look at these 2 fixtures, it certainly took them less points than what they've ended up, but it was a massive performance that gave them the confidence. So beating Manchester City in the week and then coming here, they knew they'd be up against it. Would they be tired? Would they be leggy? But they managed to find everything in the tank to get over the line.
Right, Michael Brown, thank you very much for your company here at Villa Park tonight. There is live sport continuing on Sports Extra tonight. Bristol against Lyon in the Champions Cup. The cricket will be just about getting underway in Bridgetown after the rain. West Indies and England in the one-day international. So we'll keep you up to date with that. But Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton standing by with 6:06. Give them a call, 08085 909 693. And you'll hear them after the news on 5 Live with Carl Hartley.
Listen on BBC Sounds.